Gay Collections. 4 hot and steamy gay romance short stories. Written by Kathleen Hope. Narrated by Brad Langer. Story 1. Wanting My Best Friend. Chapter 1. Curious. Stevie. I sat on the couch watching the news and looking over the essays that my students had written on the reading we'd done in class. I found myself zoning out reading crappy paper after crappy paper. It was totally obvious that several students hadn't even bothered to read the book and still turned in their paper anyway. Like I wouldn't know that they hadn't read the damn thing. Ugh, why do I even bother assigning work? I said out loud as I tossed another red-streaked essay into the done pile. What's your problem? I looked up as my roommate Tony came into the room. He was dressed in shorts and a t-shirt. I thought I was teaching high school, but I guess I was wrong. Kindergartners write better than these kids do. He grinned. They'll be all right. How about a little basketball to clear your mind? Vito just called. I guess he didn't have to work after all. I stared at the pile of papers. Basketball or more essays? Basketball or more essays? Basketball won. I straightened my pile of essays and shut off the tube. I guess I could use a little breather, and trouncing you two assholes on the court is just the break I need. Tony snorted. You're the one who's going to get trounced, my friend. Let's face it, you're an armchair athlete. Hey, I work out, I said indignantly. I flexed my arms, making my biceps bulge. I was rather proud of them and my physique in general. I wasn't a model like Tony. I didn't have the face and killer good looks that he had. But I worked with what I had. I didn't get too many complaints from the ladies. Anyone can pick up a weight or two, he scoffed. Pulling up the tail of his shirt, he showed me his flat-ripped belly. This is hard work. I stared at his six-pack, feeling almost jealous. Tony did work hard at his body, and it showed. He had a handsome face that made women and some men look twice at him. He was a clothing model and had several magazine covers and layouts to his credit. They were framed and hung on what I jokingly called the Tony Awards wall. Tony absently ran his hands over his stomach, and my eyes were drawn to the movement. Damn, I wish my abs looked that cut. I was no slouch in the six-pack department, but mine weren't as chiseled as his. My hands suddenly seemed to itch with the desire to touch his warm, bronzed skin. I quickly stuck my hands in my pockets before I acted on it. The loud, tinny sound of Tony's ringtone of the moment startled me. He dropped the bunched material of his shirt to answer his gigantic phone. As the end of the shirt fell back into place to cover his abs, I began to breathe again. I gestured to my room and hurried inside before he could ask me what my problem was. I closed the door and leaned against it. What was my problem? I had seen Tony and most of my friends shirtless at some point, and it never bothered me at all. So why was I now half-hard and longing to touch my best friend's stomach? I pushed away from the door and went to change into a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. I was just tired. That was it. Tired. And we still had a month to go before Christmas vacation. A little basketball will clear my head. Tony pushed open the door. Hey, you ready to go? Eddie and Vito are going to meet us there. I grabbed my bag and tossed a towel and clean t-shirt inside. Yep, let the ass-whipping commence. He glanced at me as he headed out of the door. You're pretty confident, aren't you? I shrugged as I got into his Jeep. Why shouldn't I be? I've got skills, too. Tony laughed as he swung into traffic, heading to the community center where we always went to play. When are you going to show them off, then? I gave him the finger as he turned his attention to the street. It was busy for a Friday. I guess everyone was just as ready as I had been to get home. We finally...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?